All right. I'm not going to leave the Marvel fans stranded. I just got done filming that initial Western video. And I wanted to say that I did finish Invisible Woman. Based her on her cover appearance. And I went ahead and darkened the belt and boots. That they're supposed to just be the same bright red, but she was lacking just too much detail. I got her hair the right shape. I don't like the hair, but I don't think there's any better way to necessarily do that. But now I have, suited Reed. I have this brown jumpsuit Johnny, and I have this, which, funny enough, again, any time I'm looking at a first appearance, I have to debate: do I want to do how they appear on the page or on the cover? You can argue, well, the cover is the first thing the customer sees. So most audience, they'll see the cover first, and that'll be their first introduction to the character. However, when they're making the comic, oftentimes the cover is made after the book. Because the cover is advertising. It's a billboard for the book. And so they don't make it until they're done writing and drawing the book. So I've had to, go back and forth. Like my Groot is, his design is coming from the pages, not the cover. The cover is actually really basic compared to his design in the book. It's still basic in there too, but if you look it up, that you'll see there's a big difference. And then so for these characters, I had to decide, if I did a completely flamed on Human Torch, he wouldn't have stood out on the shelf anyway, because I already have Golden Age Human Torch and Toro. And he would have looked basically exactly the same. So I went with, in his initial page appearance, he's wearing this brown jumpsuit. This is what he's wearing to work on a car. He's in a garage. When the Fantastic Four symbol goes up for the first time. Reed is just wearing this blue suit. And then this costume I chose from the cover because honestly, all of her clothes from the book, none of them really stood out that much to me. I mean, when they actually go to the Monster Island in the second half of their first book, she does wear a red jumpsuit. And they all wear something like a jumpsuit. But I just, I wanted that street clothes look. I didn't want her to look like a costume, but I also didn't want to do her initial outfit because there was just too many layers going on. She wouldn't have stood out at all. So for her, I chose the cover. And then the body that I wanted to use for the thing is just, it's too expensive. So, I'm thinking about, let me know what you guys think. I'm thinking about, I'll have to shorten it. This body is too big. I'm thinking about using this Ulik the Troll. I've got the phone on an arm. I'm not actually holding it in my hand today. But I've got this Ulik the Troll. He's way too tall. But the less defined rocky texture that's a holdover from when they had used these for the Rhino is closer to his appearance. Not only his first appearance, but there was actually another time where Jack Kirby drew the first appearance thing, fighting at the time the modern Thing, the one we think of with the separate rocks and everything. Because originally he just detailed him, like he would have the side of a hill or a mountain. He almost looks more like a mud monster in that first book. But I would have used, I wanted to use the Mindless one. I've actually seen somebody make a first appearance Thing out of the Mindless one, but his version was a little too slicked down, a little too shiny. And I think he got rid of some of the rocks on it, which is the whole point of using the mindless one. But I'm thinking about using this as the thing. I would just have to redo the torso, sculpt the toes and the hands. It's already an orangish color, so that actually works, paint rub wise. Make a head. I was actually gonna use this to make an Ulik, but then then I realized, well, I used Ulik's heads on a 2099 Hulk a while back, so I don't have his heads, and I'd have to get his heads. Well, the best way to get his heads is just to buy a new Ulik, because apparently he's not very expensive. I can get him for, base price, normal price. So if I want to make a first appearance Ulik, I can just get another Ulik. But the more I was thinking about that, the more I was like, I could probably use this for a thing if I, shorten the legs here a little bit. I won't get that much height off of him, but it might be enough to justify it. A lot of people want the thing to be around this size anyway. But, the thing was actually originally, and through all of the 60s and 70s and such, the thing is supposed to be shorter than Reed. A lot of people don't think about him like that. They're like, well, he should be a head taller than Reed. I'm like, no, he was never supposed to be that. He's a very wide character. But he's what artists call a 5-head tall character, and so he's very stumpy. But yeah, I think if I cut a section here out of the lower legs, I should be able to shorten him, just a little bit, and it'll bring it more in line, and I think I'll be happier with it. Even if I don't take that much out, it'll be better than it is now. He's definitely way too tall now. But, 3 of 4, not bad. First team completed once I get him done. I have all of what people would consider like the Marvel Avengers, the modern Avengers, not Marvel Avengers. Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, Hulk, and then Black Widow and Hawkeye. The movie Avengers. I just need a Thor. The problem is I also count, Ant-Man and Wasp. And good luck getting a Wasp. Anyone who wanted that classic Wasp, good luck. I'm probably going to have to make her, which I didn't want to do. Oh well. Yeah, but I'm pretty happy with how these are turning out. I know my first appearance collection is the one that most people on YouTube are excited to see. So, I'll still keep making them too. Well, until next time.